Hi, it's Ash again. I hope you're all having a good week. So Procreate have put out a pretty hefty update to the app, and including in that is a whole bunch of new brushes. So I thought that we would play around with some of them today and have a little experiment. Something that is really exciting to me at least is the fact that they've added libraries to the brush system. So if you click here, back to libraries, we have the classic library, which is all the original Procreate brushes, and then Procreate library, which is the new sets of brushes. And then you can also create your own libraries, which is very exciting to me. I sat and played around with this a few days ago. Essentially what you can do is duplicate brushes, you press with one finger, and then you can back to libraries and move these brushes around wherever you want. And what I did was I already had, you can already make your own groups of brushes. So I already had a few of those, and essentially what I spent time doing was moving them into a library, which I have called Pencil Case. I basically made my own digital pencil case. I have brushes that I like using for sketching, brushes that I like using for line art, and then different brushes I like using for rendering as well. I also have stamp brushes that I've made in the past. And then down here I have two different brush sets that I bought, the Color Mark and the Chromograph sets from True Grit Texture Supply. They're a really great company that makes brushes for Procreate, Photoshop, and I think a bunch of others as well. Like they make them like cross-compatible with a bunch of different softwares, and they normally come with like textures and paper textures. Just really recommend them. I love the Chromograph set. I've been using a bunch of different brushes from this for years, and then I recently got the Color Mark one as well. I also got from them the Rizcraft brush set, and I guess it's more like a system as well, and I've given that its own library because it is fairly extensive and complicated. For each color that you use, each layer color, it's basically a risograph emulator, I guess. It helps you get that risograph effect without having a risograph printer. And for each layer of color that you would use, there are different brushes for that with different textures, and then the effects as well. So there's so many of them that I've put them in their own library. And then I also have this little group here, which is brushes that I want to experiment with and play around with, but I haven't really got around to yet. So yeah, I'm very excited about having this digital pencil case now, being able to keep my favorite brushes separate from all the other default ones. That's very exciting to me. Maybe that's boring, I don't know. But I thought we would play around with the new brushes today. I'm going to screen record as we go and just kind of put some footage to the right here so you can kind of see better what I'm doing. I actually recently watched The Shining with my partner. I've never seen it before. I've been meaning to watch it for a long time. I mean, just visually it's a pretty amazing film, so I thought we would do a study of one of the shots from that film. So let me get that up. Okay, so I want to find a good pencil brush to do some sketching with. I'm kind of just going to go through them. It's very light. Normally with a pencil brush or something I'm going to sketch with, I want it to be I want it to have some texture to it. This one looks good. I really like highly textured brushes. I don't really like the very clean minimalist brush. I like stuff that emulates traditional media, even though I spend most of my time doing stuff digitally. Maybe there'll be a pen. Ooh, that's fun. Probably not for sketching, but that is fun. I like that. It's kind of funny, most of the pencils feel, I don't know, fairly similar. There's nothing like crazy about them. I am kind of biased because the original Procreate pencil is one of my favorite brushes to use. Okay, I think we're gonna try this one, which is Huntsman. It has texture, which I like, and then we're just gonna mess with the stabilization a little bit because I like it to be pretty stable, and then we're just gonna start sketching. I like this. This is quite, I don't know, I kind of just picked one and started drawing, but like this is quite nice. Just for getting like quick stuff down. When it comes to sketching digitally, I'm not fussy. But you need something you can get like some gesture from. I picked this film still. I went on Stills Lab, which is like a film still website. I picked this still because I think Wendy is my favorite character in the movie. Shelley Duvall is a really amazing actress, and she has such a like distinct look. She has very distinct features, which I think will be really fun to draw. I also really like 80s tech. The kind of I don't know what you would call it. Like it's a radio mic that's like attached to the radio that she's speaking into. I don't even know what that would be called, but it's just so blocky. I really like tech like that, like old TVs, CRT TVs that are blocky like that. I just think they're really fun. They're really fun to draw. Okay, we have our sketch. I've swapped to this kind of like side view with my camera here because my phone does not have enough storage to keep recording from above. Hopefully that's not too annoying. Yeah, I really like this pencil brush. I didn't think I would actually, but the more I drew with it, the more I liked it. So I think it would be actually really nice for like gestural drawings. So what we're gonna do now is find a brush to do some line art with. I'm quite picky when it comes to line art. Well, it's quite nice. I've put my color to black because I normally line in black and then change the color later. It just is a lot easier as well to see the texture because of the contrast. It looks like most of these new brushes, at least in the pen section, are fairly smooth. Oh, that one's got a little bit of texture to it. Some really nice pressure sensitivity. Oh wow. Bellarive has some really nice pressure sensitivity to it. Wow. That's fun. But it does seem like most of these are very smooth. In the inks scenario, they're very smooth brushes. Ooh, this one's got a nice chisel to it, which is fine if you like that kind of thing. Ooh, but I prefer some texture. This has some texture. It's almost like a dry brush. That's Inveresque. is really nice. How big does it go? Yeah, the more pressure you apply, the more opaque, and then I'm guessing if you go really light with the edge of it, yeah, look at that. Wait, that's really nice. It's more translucent, it's much drier, and then you can go much deeper. Fun texture there. I don't know if that's something I'd ever use in my work, but fun to experiment with. It's a very wet ink, sheer water, yeah. Nowhere Else, it's an interesting name. That's very fun. Go Chalk. I like that. I like something that has like its high opacity but textured edges is what I like. I'm not really looking to replace any of my current pens in terms of my line art. I did see this one. I played around with this one the other day. And you go very thin. There's texture but no splattering, and then as you apply more pressure, there's splattering. Which I think is so interesting, and I can just imagine what someone might create with that. It's not my kind of brush, but I'm very intrigued to see what other artists do with it. Lichen, I love that as a name. Kind of similar to the one in the pen group that we were talking about. Agrarian. Oh wow. It's almost like a watercolor brush, or I guess like a watered down ink. Ooh. What does that look like thinner? Wow, yeah, you really have to apply pressure to get it to be consistent, and it's not even consistent then. There's like natural breaks to it. That's very fun. We'll try in the markers. Oh wow. Oh, the markers are going to be fun for coloring. I'm not sure if there's anything here that I'm really like obsessed with in terms of a line art, maybe in the lettering. Oh, I do want to show this off. So I found this the other day in the lettering group. There is Ruby Rose. Oh, it's hard to show on like no color. Okay, let's pick a background color so I can show this. Lettering, but it has this auto outline, which is crazy because I know that Studio Paint has had brushes similar to this for so long. So it's crazy to be like freaking out over it, but I don't know, I just never thought we'd see something like this in Procreate, like as part of the base set. So it is exciting to me, and especially as someone who is not amazing at lettering, something like this that kind of does it for you is oh so helpful. So I'm very excited about that. I just wanted to show you. We're probably not going to use it today, but I think I also played around with Kettering, which was kind of fun. Very solid, but has like this nice feathering and is obviously chiseled as well. In the basics, maybe there'll be something there we can play with. Yeah, I'm very intrigued later when we do rendering to play around with the mint brush and some of these airbrushes as well. Florentine. Oh, that's nice. It's a charcoal brush. Oh, that's fun. Montezuma, a really small, almost as a line brush. Oh wow, that's fun. Has like a nice halftone effect. That's in the comics section. Yeah, I'm very excited for a lot of these. Billy Button, what's that? Ooh, okay, we might use this. This is much more my style. I like that. Okay, yeah, we're gonna use this just because I'm keen to start with the line art now. I'll go thin into that. And we'll play with the stabilization just a little bit. I don't really want this to be too perfect. I kind of just want it to maintain that sketchy feel, because that's kind of what we started with. It's kind of fun. It'll be a lot quicker as well, which means we can just get into like coloring and rendering. This pen is very fun. It leaves a kind of dot at the end, which I'm not crazy about. It might just be user error, maybe it's the way I'm using it, but I think it's good to think sometimes, especially as a digital artist, you can get caught up in using the same tools over and over again, the same brushes, because that's what you're used to. It's kind of part of your process. But I think it can be good sometimes to mess around with new brushes, try different things, because you never know, you might end up liking it more than you think. Even if you don't end up like changing the process that you normally use, it's good to experiment. It's a different day. I did a little bit of colouring off camera just because it's not that exciting. I used this brush, Ravenswood, which it's in the, oh, where is it? I think it's in the pastels. Yeah, pastels. I used that for my solid fill colours because it creates this really interesting texture of like more saturated areas within the solid colour, which is really nice, and you can like, it's just very fun to play with, and it creates this really nice texture, as you can see, in the solid areas. So that's really fun. I think that is a brush that I'll definitely be taking from this new set and using. But otherwise, I've just been putting in some solid color, nothing crazy, but I figured we can now play around with rendering and having fun with that together. We have the cigarette smoke here, which I think is really a good opportunity to mess with some texture brushes. One that I saw earlier that I really want to play with, Basics, Mint Brush, yeah, it was the Mint Brush, which is this, it's kind of almost like the noise brush in the original Procreate brush set, except it's a little, personally I think it looks a little bit more buildable. It's more airbrushy as well, rather than just the texture itself. There's like an element of opacity in the middle. I don't think we'll use it for the cigarette smoke, I don't think it really works, but I am going to play with that in a minute with rendering the light, I think. Let's see what we can do. I think probably a pastel will be our best bet here. Yeah, just fill in this line work. It's kind of fun. Okay, I want to play around with, I like that, the ringtail brush is fun. Yeah, I want to play around with Mint Brush more. Let's do something like this. Yeah, it's fun, I like that. I still have the like green sketch layer on for some reason. I just haven't turned it off yet, and I don't know why. I kind of like the look of it just chilling there, but I want to change the color of these sections because I swear I didn't put them in that color. That's a bit better. Okay. I'll put this back on. One thing I wish Procreate would add is being able to make a clipping mask for a group. Right now you can only do a clipping mask on top of a single layer, and I wish that when you group layers you could then do a clipping mask for all of those layers, because that would be so helpful for me, because I prefer to keep my solid colors on different layers and then use clipping masks for rendering. It would be so helpful. So I just kind of had to do a layer and then like erase around it, which I don't mind. I find it quite mindful to just sit and do it like this, but it is annoying. Okay, I want to add texture to her scarf, because there's all these different fun colors and stuff in the scarf, so maybe a charcoal. Okay, let's unclip the mask so we can actually see what we're doing. Okay, so this is Pipeline. I'm just going to make it smaller. Because I don't want to sit and do the whole texture, but if I can add the suggestion that there's a pattern there rather than having to sit and draw it all out. Because this is just a study, it's just a little experiment. This isn't a huge proper piece. I like that, that's fun. Okay, and then there's kind of like a browny green in there. Okay, I want to bring back more of like that plum red. Yeah, cute. Okay, now we can just go and clean it up a little bit from around these edges. I want to change that like lighting layer that we did. I think it's a little too harsh. I'm gonna darken her hair a little bit because I think it's too... Yeah, much better, much better. That's so fun. Okay, let's experiment with the mint brush in like, yeah, in like that way. I want to use like this dark, really dark brownish as like, yeah, adding this sort of darker oh, see, that's so fun and like dramatic. I'm definitely having a lot of fun doing this. Like, I don't really play around like this very often. Oh, that's fun. Gosh, the linear band is so dramatic like that. Wow. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it there because that was pretty fun. I'm pretty happy with this. It's just a bit of an experiment. I really like a lot of these new brushes. I only really got to play around with like a very small percentage of them. So I'm excited to see what else can be done with them. I'm sure other artists are playing around in similar ways. I'm having way too much fun. Like, oh, there's no need for me to have done that, but like, it's so fun. Yeah, I'm very excited about, mainly my favorite brushes in this are in this comic section. I think they're so fun. They're so cool. Like, look at that. That's so cool. I feel like there's a million directions I could have taken this with all these different brushes. Yeah, I'm just having a lot of fun. My cat is going crazy. I think he wants playtime. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm intrigued to hear what are your favorite brushes from this new update. If there's any that I should be trying out that I haven't already. Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the update and what you like and what you don't like. If there's anything that I've missed that I haven't covered, I'd love to hear in the comments. So yeah, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. You can leave a like or a comment for me. Subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me out and I really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!